Okay, let's start the sew along for this top. The pattern is ME2053. It's a super cute knit top with neckties and ruching along the bust. I already did the pants sew along in a different video, so you can find that on the Know Me YouTube channel. And here's the line drawing on the back, and it's super cute, and I can't wait to see you guys make it. So let's start. Okay, so I'm first going to go over the pieces. This is the piece number 1. It's the upper front piece, and you're going to cut 2. Make sure to mark all your markings and notches. This is pattern piece 2, and it's the lower front, and you're going to cut 1 on the fold. And this is piece 3. It's the yoke front, and you're going to cut 2. And this is piece 4, and it's the tie that goes around your neck, and you're going to cut 1. And this is piece 5. It's the back bodice, and you're going to cut 1 on the fold. And this is the neck facing, and you're going to cut 1. It's pattern piece 6. And this is piece 7. It's the sleeve. You're going to cut 2 that are mirrored. Okay, so the first step is we're going to stay stitch the yoke at the bottom, just from marking to marking. Along the bottom, there's going to be 2 dots. You'll stay stitch it right there. Okay, next we're going to attach the yoke to the bodice back, and you're going to attach it at the shoulder seams, and you'll stitch it at 5/8 inch. Okay, so I have stitched the yokes on, and since I serged them, I'm not going to trim it. And we're going to press those, and then we're going to stay stitch the neckline so it doesn't stretch out. So I'll press the seams right here, and then we'll stay stitch the neckline, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my neck facing. I'm going to go press it in half, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've pressed the neck facing in half, and then we're going to pin it to the top of the shirt with right sides together. And then, so we'll pin it along the neckline, and then we will sew it at 3/8 inch seam allowance. And you might have to stretch it just a little bit to fit it to the end. So. Okay, now that I've pinned it, we're going to stitch it at 3/8 inch. Okay, now I'm going to trim this just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go understitch this. You're going to understitch the seam allowance onto the facing. So I'm going to go stitch a line right, so as close to this seam line as possible, and then the seam allowance is towards the facing. So we'll just stitch right here, and I'll do that and be right back. Okay, so now that we've understitched the facing, I'm going to go press it, and then I'm going to baste it we're gonna baste it down. So I'll go press it and then we'll just baste it, fold it under like that. Okay, so I've basted that down. It's kind of wavy, but once you give it a good steam, it'll even out. Okay, so now we're gonna be working on the upper front, and we're gonna put them right sides together, and then we're gonna sew along the top from marking to marking, and then on the bottom from marking to marking. So we'll go sew that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so you should have actually, the stitching lines, so right here, you're gonna stitch 3 lines to have the channels for the tie to go through, but I accidentally sewed over it and didn't leave it open, so I'll just unpick that, and then we're gonna turn it right sides out and press it, and then after that we'll pin it to the back, and I will show you that in just a minute. Okay, so it doesn't say it in the instructions, but we're actually going to, on the top, we're going to clip the seam allowance. Just not all the way to the stitching line, but almost. So we'll just clip it right to the stitching line. And then also we'll trim the bottom. And I'll trim the top. Okay, so you can see where we've clipped it, the seam allowance, you can still pull out that edge that we haven't sewn yet. And then I'm gonna go press this and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've pressed this and now we're going to stick it onto the back bodice, and this is gonna go. Okay, and so when you pin one side to it, you're gonna flip the other upper front over and sandwich the yoke in between, and then we'll stitch that at 5/8 inch, and we'll repeat it for the other side. Okay, so I've stitched the front to the yokes, and now we're gonna baste the sides of the upper front closed, so we'll baste it down right here, and then we're gonna do these stitching lines on the front, and I'm gonna just quickly mark that again, and then I'll do 3 lines of stitching, and that's where it's going to ruche up for the ties, like that. So I'll go do that. I'll baste the sides, and then we're gonna do the 3 lines of stitching, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm gonna do the tie strap, and this is not it. Okay, now I'm gonna do the tie that goes around your neck, and we're just gonna fold it in half and press it and then stitch it, and then we'll turn it right side out. Okay, I used a loop turner to start turning this. Sorry, I thought it was recording and it wasn't, so I didn't get the first step, but I use a loop turner. You can also use a safety pin or a needle. I think these are the easiest. And then, so I've got it. We'll turn it all the way out. Okay, and this is going to be the necktie. Now we're going to thread this through the upper front. Let me grab that. Okay, so I'm going to use a safety pin. So actually, you're going to go down, down, and then back up because it ties around the neck. I just got that mixed up. Okay, and you can kind of see with the ruching, it kind of gives a sweetheart neckline. And now let's move on to the next step. Let me find it. So we're gonna take the lower front and we're gonna fold it once and then fold it again, creating a narrow hem. And you're gonna do that, fold it towards the wrong side of the fabric, and I will grab that really quick. Let's move this. Okay, so we're just gonna fold. I'm gonna go press this down and then we're gonna roll it again one more time. And you're gonna do it until 5/8. So you should have a mark at the top, and if both folds end at the dot. So it'll be 5/8 inch. So I'll go press that and then be right back. Okay, so now that we have the ties through and we've done the narrow hem, we are going to move on to step 18. And with right sides up, lap upper front over lower front, matching centers and symbols, base sides together. Okay, so we're just gonna put the top over the back, matching the notches, and then we're going to baste it shut. And then the next step is to sew the front and back together. Okay, so we have the bottom and we're going to put the top over it, matching the notches, and we'll go ahead. Okay, and then we will pin this side, matching those notches. Now that we have it pinned and overlapped, I'm gonna go baste that and then baste this side also, and then we're gonna, okay, now that I have this pinned, I'm gonna go baste this side, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that we've basted the sides, we're going to flip the front over the back with right sides together. And we're gonna stitch the side seams. So we'll just stitch these side seams, and we'll do that at 5/8 inch on both sides, and then we'll be right back. Okay, I have serged the side seams, and then you also don't have to serge it. If you just have a regular machine, that totally works. Just use a zigzag stitch. And now the last step is to do these sleeves. So you should have marks at the sleeve cap, and we're gonna ease, so we're gonna sew basting stitches from this one to this one, and then we're gonna ease this sleeve a little bit to make it easier to sew onto the top. So, and then once you do that, then we'll sew the sleeve, the longer seam on the sleeve right there on both ones, and then we're going to attach it to the shirt. So I'm going to go do a line of stitching from this mark to this mark, and then we'll gather it a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've sewed both sleeves, and now we're going to pin the sleeves. We're gonna turn them right side out. I'll just trim that. Okay, we'll turn it right side out. Okay, and then matching the notches on the sleeve to the sleeve to the bodice. I have my bodice inside out and my sleeve right side out. And matching the notches, we're going to stick the sleeve inside the bodice, matching up the seams. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go sew the sleeve at 5/8 inch, and I'll do that on both sides, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've sewed both sleeves on, and turn it right sides out. Okay, and now the only thing we have left to do is press it, and then we're gonna hem the bottom of it, and we're gonna hem the sleeves. We're gonna fold it up and press it at 5/8 inch, and then sew it down, and then we can unpick this basting stitches, and then we're gonna be done. And I will be right back and show you the finished garment. Okay, here's the finished product, the finished shirt. This is a little loose, but on me, I have bigger boobs than the dress form, so it'll fit better. But I think it's so cute. I can't wait to see all your shirts. And let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments.